Now, this particular conversation, it was something that I knew that I had to share with you. And it's another one of these amazing moments from our archive that I thought I was going to leave back in the vault forever. But I thought to myself, oh, I can't do that. I need to share it with my family. So here we go. This is an important conversation that I know is going to change your perspective, but more importantly, it's going to give you some of the tiny nuggets that you need to do things a little bit differently as you think about reframing and reshaping your business, reshaping your life, but more importantly, getting your mind right for the next level of what you're about to create, who you're about to become, and more important, all the things that you're working on right now, because damn it, you are so close. And I know that this is going to take you further. Get ready.
Hey you, welcome to Build the Damn Thing, a place where myself, Tiffany Largy, and our amazing Do the Damn Thing coaches show you how to use your story to build it all. Whether it's your first 6 figures, your next layer of multiple 6 figures, or maybe you're on your way to $1 million. And if it's not that, it's the life of your dreams, where you are free, you are strong, and you are whole. First, we're going to show you how to use your story to build a strong foundation. And then next, we're going to show you how to use your story in sales and marketing to clean up the cracks. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to use your story to gather people. Because truth of the matter is that there's nothing stronger than being connected to people who just understand you as you are, where you are, so you can stop explaining yourself. I want to remind you that now that you're here, you are home, and I officially welcome you to our family. All right, let's get started.
Here's the real question. I want you to just be honest with me. Be honest with me. Are you even holding a BATT? The truth of the matter is we want all these things. We're asking God. We're saying, real question. I want you to just be honest with me. We are saying, are you even? We're saying to ourselves, you know what? I absolutely need more in my life. I'm feeling like things are all over the place and I can't really get it together. But here's my real question from me to you. Are you even holding a BATT? I want you to think about everything you've done in the last couple of days. And I want you to think about the big idea, dream, want, desire that you have at the other end. You can't really hit a home run without a BATT. You can't hit a home run without a BATT. Let me repeat that. You can't hit a home run without a BATT. Really quickly, if you even heard what I just said, if you're here, I don't care where, can you just entertain me and put the word BATT in your chat? Every 2 days, I used to say to myself, man, it's not really happening, or it's not happening as fast as it could. I used to say to myself, man, I know that I'm doing some things, but I'm not quite there, and I must be doing it wrong. But there was 2 problems. Number 1, I wasn't even really holding the BATT. And then outside of me not holding the BATT, if we want to hit a home run, we have to hold a BATT. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. And I'm on the set right now as I'm about to graduate a class from DT Night School. If you're wondering who I am and how I got here, we are on the set in the DTTT studio, and we're going to be graduating a whole class. But I have a message to my graduating class, and as I hold these certificates, I have a message for the world. I have a message for all my sisters and brothers who are fighting for whatever dream and deep desire that they have right now. Number 1, are you holding a BATT? My second question is, are you even swinging the bat hard enough? So here it is, we're walking around, we're thinking about all these things that we want to accomplish, and we're saying to ourselves, oh my gosh, I know it's going to happen. But yet we fail to step to the plate, or if we step to the plate, we kind of sauntered to the plate, we kind of walked to the plate a little bit, but were we actually in position and ready? This is a moment. You want something so bad. You ever just want something so bad that you can taste it when you wake up and when you go to sleep? You ever want something so bad? The key here is that step number 1, we have to be stepping to the plate daily. Step number 2, or item or concept number 2, is we actually have to have a BATT in our hand. Number 3, we have to be swinging the bat as hard as we possibly can with whatever limitations we have. It's easy to make limitations the excuse as to why we don't make it happen. It's easy to make limitations the excuse for why it doesn't happen. In February, I got rushed to the hospital and I had a massive surgery out of nowhere. I was in the studio, things were fine. I was in a great place. So I thought. And then moments later, I was begging for mercy. I was praying for death. I was in so much pain. I really couldn't see in front of me. Minutes turned into hours and hours turned into more hours than I can count. I was in the emergency room, and then fast forward, here's what's real for me. I had surgery. And my goal right now is not even to talk about me having surgery, but it's the aftermath of me having surgery. Because in every moment when we get a life card, every moment when things are not going right, every moment when we're like, oh, this sucks, there's always a aftermath. Anyone ever notice that? That it's never just a storm. Every time we turn on the news, everybody want to highlight the storm, right? We want to say the storm came through, but it's really the aftermath of what we have to deal with. I spent the last 8 months dealing with the aftermath of having emergency surgery and not being able to walk for months. Not being able to walk for months and feed myself and go to the bathroom by myself. I run multiple companies. I have a team. I have payroll every 2 weeks. We had a whole schedule. Anyone ever feel like that? If you've ever felt like that, can you just put the word coach, I hear you, in the chat wherever you are? Tiff, I hear you. Because you know what's so crazy for me is that I said to myself, man, I could talk about all the limitations in front of me, but there was a point where I began to heal and I had to start working through the aftermath. Regardless of whether I liked it, regardless of whether I felt capable, there was a billion people who were not on my side. Z the cook, what's going on? Like, it's so real for me. Jennifer Quinn Wilson, I thought about you just today. The reality is that we find ourselves in this moment, right? And something happens, we get a life card, and then the aftermath, and we feel like we're cleaning the whole thing up by ourselves. I remember saying maybe a month and a half later, as I looked at the aftermath of me getting sick, the aftermath of what was happening in our companies, the aftermath of what was happening on my team, the aftermath of what was happening in our communities. And I said to myself, here's what's okay. I'm going to hit a home run, even if I have to be the one to retrain myself on how to play and win the game. Don't just wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm just in the game. Please don't do that. For the last 6 months, I've been fighting for my life. For the last 6 months, I've been fighting for my sanity. Because the aftermath, it's a decision. And in this decision, wherever we are right now, even if we're the only ones, we have to play the game because we want to win. Over the last couple of months, the number one thing that I started to see when I came back, I had a walker up until May 1st, but then it was really, really, really slow for me to walk around and do things and get places. I couldn't drive, a ton of medication. I was lost half the time. But the truth of the matter is that I had to make a decision right where I was with what I had to still play the game. That's first. Second, I had to make a decision to go pick up my bat. Let me tell you something. I don't care where you are. I don't know how you got here. It doesn't matter. What does matter for me to you is that you make a decision to pick up your bat. Once I got whiff of the fact that I was still alive and I was here, once I got whiff of the fact that I was alive and I was still here and that I hadn't died, and that I might actually make it to the end of the year, I realized I had a responsibility to myself and to every dream that I had to make sure that whether I felt happy or sad or physically capable, that I kept the bat in my hand because I had the ability to swing. It's like I had the ability, I had been given the grip. I am alive. I am going to swing the bat. My message right now, before I even welcome this graduating class, is to say, I am asking you, do not wake up tomorrow morning and don't swing that bat. Do not wake up tomorrow morning and don't swing that bat. You know what? Let me say something else to you before I say some other words. Don't walk anymore in this life without holding your bat. Life is too short. You've been given too many opportunities. You've been given too much grace. You got too many resources. If you can see this right now, you have everything you need because you got access to the other 7 billion people on the planet. Do not wake up tomorrow without holding your bat. This is a game. It is called life, and you can win. This is a game. The whole thing is a game, and you can win. And I personally, I want you to win. Whether some of us live to be X age, this age, or this, and even if you get to 112, 120, that's amazing. That is still short. Life is what it is. It's easy for someone to tell me, well, Tiffany, you shouldn't say that. Yes, but I have to own the truth. Because if I can be inside of the truth, I can navigate the truth. Because if I mess around and allow myself to think that I have an infinite amount of decades left, I'm going to start walking and I might make the mistake and put my bat down, and then I will not get my home run. If I mess around, stay with me and think about this. If I mess around and, Tiffany, don't think like that. Don't say those words. Don't do that, Tiffany. That is the wrong thing. You know, you really should be mindful of. No, I'm going to be mindful of the truth and the facts because I don't live them. I'm going to be mindful of the truths and the facts and my story because I have lived it and it is what it is. And I'm not going to be negotiable on this conversation. It is non-negotiable because I have lived it. In the last 12 months, I have prayed for death more than twice. That is the truth. I'm going to own that. Why? Because I was in so much pain. The reality is that once I understood for myself that I may not have had all of the other things, but I still had myself, even though I wasn't in the form that I remember, even though that form was limited, even though that form sometimes cried, even though that form said a lot of bad words on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, even though that form was frustrated, even though that form was feeling sad and upset because of the fact that I had kids who were watching me, wondering what was going to happen. The reality is, to stay with me because this is really important. And whether you're like, Tiffany, I'm watching this live, or I don't even know who you are. I don't know why you have so many chains around your neck. I'm just really confused about what I'm seeing. Let me just tell you something. What I am absolutely clear on is that most people, because I have been watching people, I have been teaching for the last 10 years. Yes, I have made all types of money. Yes, I built a 7-figure business. Yes, I have sold companies. I have ... I have all of the other things. Today, I stand in front of you and I'll tell you the truth, like the absolute kind of hardcore truth of the matter is that I've had the luxury in my inability to walk consistently and my inability to feel up consistently, and I mean physically up. I've had the luxury of just watching people. And most people are not walking around with their bat. They're spending so much time watching the words they say and how they say it, being politically correct, that they're not walking with their bat. They're sure as hell not swinging. And then more importantly, they are not holding their bat. They are not swinging. And so therefore, a home run is impossible. I'm not sure about you, but I will not play this game without the prospect of me winning. Does anybody else feel like that? Like, who would play this life game to not win? Am I the only one? To the graduating class, I want to say this and say this to you. And I want you to be absolutely crystal clear on the truth of the truth of the truth. Play the game to win. Do not just play the game. Play the game with the intention to win, but you cannot play the game with the intention to win if you are not holding a bat, because you can never swing. And then my second statement to you, my second statement to you from my heart to yours is that, man, oh man, if you get the opportunity to swing, and sometimes there are so many opportunities to swing and we don't swing because we're not sure of ourselves. It just didn't feel right. I didn't know if I was ready. What? You've been ready. Really quickly in the chat. I need you to tell yourself, as I'm telling you, as I had to tell myself, you've been ready right now. I've been ready. You have been ready. There is no getting ready. You are ready now because you were made for this. You were made in this space for this. You've been ready. I remember leaning on a wall, my walker not too far, and thinking to myself, I can't believe it. I really can't even get down this hall without help. And I remember saying to myself, it's okay. If I have to have help to get down the hall, I wanted everybody to be clear. I'm going to go down the hall because my notes, my notebook, and my notepads are there. And I need that stuff because I need to start swinging the bat. Not swinging the bat is you putting yourself in a position to have absolutely zero chance of winning. After me looking in the face of the truth of what it means to feel so bad and so lost and in so much pain that you're not just crippled, you're done. I say to myself, and I'm telling you, I will never wake up again without swinging the bat. But what if I can only hold, Tiffany, what if I can only hold the bat in this one hand? Then hold it in this one hand, because baby, if you hold it in this one hand and you swing, trust me when I say you have the ability to hit it. What if you hit it with your one hand? Today I saw a video of a guy who was in the gym and he doesn't have an arm. And I watched this moment of him looking at the bar in front of him that has two hands, that requires, by most people, so we think, two hands to lift it up. There had to be, 425s, which is roughly about 100 pounds, maybe even a little bit more. And I remember thinking to myself immediately, how is he going to pick it up before he did? And you know how he did it? By using what he did have versus succumbing to my thought about the limitations of what he didn't have. If you heard me, can you just put the word money in the chat? Forget what you don't have. I watched him use the one hand and pick up the 200 pounds and made me feel so dumb. And I was like, of course he picked it up because he did have the hand and that was all he needed. It's irrelevant of what the people to our left and our right do and don't have. Graduating class, listen, as you think about this time that you have spent in night school with us, I want you to be crystal clear. It's irrelevant what you don't have. It actually does not matter. Do you know that as of today, I am still Black? This is a shock. I am still a Black woman with no college degree, no license, no certifications, no backing by a big company. I am still outcasted by all the good old boy systems. And I have built a company that has reached the world, and I'm just getting started. I had to use what I had. I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk until May 1st, but you know what I could do? I could talk. So I began to use my one hand. I let go of what wasn't working. I let go of the physical limitations that I had. I could not sustain an 8-hour day, but I could hit as hard as I can the 3-hour day. But Tiffany, what if you're damaging yourself? You should rest. I hear you. I did rest. But I also know what home run I want to hit. And if I'm not standing at the mound, and if I don't have this bat in my hand and I don't swing, I'm not going to hit. And I cannot live this life. Can you imagine? Like, come on, real talk, guys, real talk between you and me. Can you imagine living this life and not winning and knowing ahead of time you weren't going to win? Then what are we doing? If I live this life and I don't win, then what am I doing? I'm playing this game to win. I want you to make a decision to make the same decision for yourself. I want you to play the game to win. You must carry your bat every single day and never put it down. And how many times should you swing? As many times as you possibly physically can, until God takes the ability for you to swing completely away when this life is done. You right now, at this moment, life, money, it's a sport. I know some people struggle with that concept because they want a participation award. Let me just have a moment of silence for what I just said. I don't even know if anyone was ready for that. It's the truth. It's like there are so many people who are trying to be satisfied and happy with the participation award. Participation award. No. I don't need to decide what your win is for yourself. The essence of what DTDT, what this shirt actually means, what this entire message is you're either doing it or you're not. A participation award usually allows us to say, oh, well, I did enough, so therefore I'm here and still alive. But are you really, or are you numb? Because if you're numb, you're not. Let me tell you, in this life, there's only two things. There's either the person who is living or the person who is dying. God did not create anything on the planet to be in both places at the same time. After I got out of surgery, you know what happened? I spent the next couple of months learning how to walk again. I got alienated by a lot of places and groups that I was in. I had to cancel a ton of events. But then I entered a whole nother dimension of sickness. I've had more MRIs in the last 6 months than I couldn't even know were possible. I've had maybe 30 different types of tests in the hospital, which I didn't even know were possible. They have removed somewhere inside of, 40 vials of blood from me, maybe 50. I just had a lumbar puncture maybe 3 weeks ago. I just got out of the hospital after a 6-day stay last week, 11 days ago. At this moment, in this moment, at where we are right now, but Tiffany, you look so great. It is so possible to not be 100% on the inside and to create a facade and an image on the outside. The reason why you do not see me walking through the things that we do, and I'm using pictures as a way to get your attention or to trick the world into believing that everything is 100%, because that's not real. What's real is you watching me pause and sigh. What's real is you watching me run out of breath. What's real is you watching me having to take a seat. What's real is you watching me stop mid-sentence and having to take a break so that I can continue my thought. What's real is you watching someone run on camera so that they can help me. That's real. I made a decision that through this, as I continue to get tested and look for answers, as I make a decision to continue to hold my bat, I wanted to be the few times that I could sustain being on camera after tons of awesome medicine, is to take the moment to give you the truth. Because the truth is the only thing that's going to set me free in my relationship with you for what it is, whether you've never met me or you're like, I don't know who you are and I'm still not sure why you're wearing all those chains. But the truth, like truth of the matter is I wanted to be as real and as black and white as I journey through this part of my story as I could be, because as limited as I am sometimes, a lot of times I'm holding my bat every day, and I will not put my bat down until God calls me home. I have too much potential. And if my mouth can still move, if my mind can mostly work, then I still have the ability to give birth to all of the vision and the things. I still have the potential inside of me, and I can still distribute it and give it to the world. I can still give it and distribute it to the world. Every single day, I'm going to hold my bat, and every single day, I'm going to swing as hard as I can. In the last 7 days, ask yourself this honest question: have you swung as hard as you could have? Honestly. And it doesn't even have to be. It's not even about money. It's about life, your potential, your dreams, the relationship that you've wanted, the family you've envisioned, the weight that you should be, the impact you know that you're supposed to have on the world, the children who are waiting for you in orphanages. Like, just keep swinging the bat. Swing the motherfucking bat. Swing the bat. Like, swing the bat. It sounds so simple, but it's like, I can't tell you how many people I encountered after getting out of the hospital who weren't even holding the bat. And then they were swinging it, but they were like, you know what, I need to wear different gloves. I really need to be in a better position. I really need to, it's not this season. I'm going to wait until this and this happens. I'm going to, but then listen, not only do I want you to win, but I want you to win and have the last laugh. I want you to win, and I want you to have the last laugh. I want you to win, and I want you to have the last laugh. I want you to win, and I want you to have the last laugh. The amount of people who told me growing up, the amount of people who told me that I would never amount to anything. And then when I had 2 children, 18 months apart, and their dad was running the streets, if it wasn't an 8-ball, it was the money flew out the window, and so therefore we could not pay our rent. What I am so clear on is today, at this moment, I think of every person, every pastor, every associate pastor, every cousin, every neighbor, every woman in a woman's group, any person who I seek help from, guidance from, comfort from, connection from, who told me, Tiffany, you are moving too fast. You have too many ideas. You are doing too much. You should really put the kids, you should not show them all of yourself, because then they're going to see the bad parts of you. You should not. I stand here today and I think about this fact that in this life, I've had the opportunity to wake up and actually live my dream. I also think about the fact that today I have never been so excited to hold a bat. I have never been so clear about my potential. I want you to get crystal clear about your potential. This is not motivational. I am not a motivational speaker. I am not here to hype you. That is not my goal. My goal is, before I go, to say from one human to this human that you have a ton of potential, and I don't want you to waste it. Why? Because my children need your knowledge, your insight, and your innovation. I made my children a promise that I would do everything in my power to be what I wanted them to be, but then to ask the other fellow humans, if I ever so happen to come in contact with them, I promised them that I would do everything in my power to leave the world better for them, and that is what I am doing. Then I made a promise to all of the people in DTDT, in all of the many 20, 30 countries that we have reached. I made them a promise 7 years ago that if they trusted me on this crazy concept of, forget all the business stuff that everybody's teaching you, all the funnel foolishness and sexy website, and you have to have all this team and you got to be charismatic, all this stuff, that if you were just willing to entertain this ridiculous idea that I had 7 years ago, 8 years ago, that your story, that story came before any of that. That story was the most magical thing that you could ever create. Sure, but it was the most important thing for you to tell. Got sick and tired of hearing people teach and tell you need to become better at storytelling, become a storytelling master. Let's have storytelling classes. Let's have storytelling stage talks. The 3 elements of effective storytelling. I felt like, and I still feel like today, if I heard one more time of some expert, supposed guru, teaching the world how to craft or curate a portion of themselves into something desirable so that they could get a sale, I literally, it is not storytelling. It is tell your story. The greatest thing that I have done over the last decade is master telling my story, and I've mastered building a brand and a movement around the world that is way bigger than me. And I'm grateful for it. But the truth of it is that it's not about me. It's about me facing my own fears. It's about me being everything that I've wanted for. It's about me being everything that I've ever wanted to actually see happen in the world. My conviction has led me to the truth of I have to tell my story every day, but damn, I have to pick up the bat because I will not spit on the people who came before me who could not even attempt or entertain the idea of dreaming. Don't spit on the people who came before you. I will not live on this. I will not live this life. This vessel will not be living this life and will not be not having a bat in her hand, swinging as hard as she can every single day, simply because of this fact, because I have the ability to dream. I have the ability to want and desire, and the people who came before me made that happen. The people who came before me made that happen for me to be here and to do this. So I'm going to do this and whatever else it is at 1,000,000%. I'm going to keep swinging my bat, even if it feels like I am never going to swing it 100% correctly. But at least I'm swinging. I'm asking you to join me. And if you're joining me in that alone, as from this day and every day after this moment, I am asking you, I'm actually begging you. I'm begging you. I am begging you to make a decision to pick up your bat every single day, even if you're like, it is really hard, Tiffany, and I don't know how to do that. I'm okay with that. I've had to ask for help a gazillion times this year, especially as people tried to kick the bat out of my hand. They tried to pull the bat from me and give me a bat that is inferior to the one that I need to be holding. They tried to tie my hands behind my back as I reach for my bat again. Anyone ever been there? Pick up your bat. If you're with me, if you've heard this, whether it's while I'm here or when I'm gone, I'm asking you to not let this moment die. I'm also asking you to put in the chat wherever you are and tag me. I'm picking up my bat. Just those words. I'm picking up my bat. And for the person who says, you know, Tiffany, I have picked up my bat 1,000,000 times and I am so tired. I cannot pick my bat up anymore. Or it is too hard for me to pick up. I feel like it is too hard for me. This thing is too heavy. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know where I'm going through and you don't know what I've been through. And I'm going to say, sis, brother, I hear you, but I still need you to pick it up. And if you're like, I can't pick it up, then one of 3 things have to happen. You've got to ask someone for help. And if it's the wrong person, ask 100 more people until you find the right person. And if you're like Tiffany Larkey, I cannot pick up my bat because I cannot pick it up, then I will help you pick it up. I will help you pick up your bat. Because right now, at this very moment, I'm right there with you. I am standing here independent of how I feel, independent of what has happened to me this year, independent of what I face in my future. I'm holding my bat. And if I have to hold your bat too, the greatest part about this moment is that I'm letting you know I'm strong enough for both of us. Because I was made for this. I know what I was made for. It's okay for you to feel weak and not enough. It's okay right now if you're like, I don't even know where my bat's even at. I don't even know where this thing is. That's okay. I'll help you find it. The entire DT community will help you find it. All I ask is that you pick up your bat. I want to be transparent and say this before I go. Just because you pick up your bat doesn't mean you have the emotional or mental or spiritual strength to hit right away. That's okay. It might mean, like it was for me, there were 2 months where I was feeling so bad. They had given me so many tests. I was taking 10 different medications, and I was feeling like I was so far away from even being able to be close to what I can remember, mentally or emotionally. But you know what I did? I picked up my bat and I held on tight to it for dear life. And I slept with it every night. And I slept with it in my recliner, and I didn't let it go. Until I was strong enough to. I don't know what that is for you, but I do know that if we've gotten this month this far, somewhere between me and you, right here at this moment, you understand me. And I'm not talking into thin air, and you don't think I'm completely crazy. And whatever limitations that you need to see, that you're watching and that you're seeing, I just want to be the example. I want to be the example. And specifically, I want to let you know that, yes, you can. I love you. I'm so glad that I've had the luxury of being here with you just in this moment. I want to know what picking up the bat for you means. If I take the time to respond to you, all I ask is that you take the time to respond back. Don't let my words or my life or my moments that I do have be in vain. Pick up your bat. Stop putting it down. Swing every day, as hard as you can, until it's very simple. Until you hit a home run. Until you hit a home run.
This episode was amazing for you, and you are closer to building the damn thing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts were, what part you loved, and the action that you're gonna go take, because the truth of the matter is that the person who wins is not the person who gets there first, it's the person who takes action first. Now, I've got a gift for you, and it is at www.strappedhustle.com. It is imperative that you run there and you see all types of goodies, starting with the 7 must-haves that you've got to put when telling your story. There is so much deliciousness awaiting for you. I would love nothing more than for you to go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review on not just this episode, but this entire series of How Do You Build the Damn Thing. Like always, if there's anything that we can do to make your weekday or month better, please let us know. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you live. Whether it's at Do the Damn Thing Live or in one of our communities, or maybe you're just hanging out with us on social media. What I know to be true is that I am meant to connect with you somewhere, and I can't wait for that day to happen. And more importantly, I can't wait to see what you build.